Just like in church, we're supposed to be saved. We're supposed to be one. We won't even congregate together. We won't even come together and have discussions like this is weird. Me and you talking. You know what I mean? This is probably the most that people have seen white and a black man and a white man talk together. You know what I mean? And not fight or you know.
Man, I think it has more to do with where your area.
I don't know what you mean.
Because
what area you assume I'm in? What area you assume I'm in?
Well, I'm assuming you're in a big city.
I'm in a big city. I mean, it's okay, but I don't live in the ghetto. I haven't lived in the ghetto since I've been a teenager.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is because like a lot of the big cities, and I don't know exact city you're in. I know you told me before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm in New York.
But a lot of them are the most segregated cities.
So you live in the country?
So it would be considered country, I guess, but I'm kind of what we have right here is called Northwest Arkansas.
You're in the rural.
So it's called Northwest Arkansas, NWA, and that's what we call it. And so it's like 4-5 major cities, but each city is like 60 to 100,000 each city, and it's all just one metro area. So it's almost like one big, you know, it's probably like 500, 600,000.
Are the cultures mixed?
So yeah, so the thing is that there's a lot of people from Cali here, from Texas, from the Midwest. A lot of people move here because it's like it's a fast growing area in the United States. And so, but once you go out, there is country. So we're kind of like on the borderline of Midwest and South. So we're kind of like got a mix of both. And but once you go down, the more you go down, like it becomes more country. But then you got Little Rock, which is the capital of Arkansas, which that's a bigger city. That's like that's the capital here, and it's a main city. And that was murder capital for like 2-3 years in the 90s. Okay. So I mean, so it just depends. It's mostly country. Like it's kind of like where I grew up in Indiana. The city I grew up in wasn't considered country, but if you just go out 20 minutes outside the city, then it's country. You got cornfields and stuff. So it depends where you, but my only point with that was like down here, everybody's mingled together. So when you go to neighborhoods that have more black people there, then there is more black there. Yeah. But there's probably just as many white and Mexicans there too.
Like the neighborhood I live in right now but it's near a college area, so it's mixed and it's a mixture of whites.
Yeah, because it's college.
Yeah, we have some Spanish, a lot of Spanish. Blacks and Spanish usually run together. But I'm not in the ghetto.
Well, that depends where you're at too. Like if you go to Cali, that's not really like that. Like in Cali, there'll be like one or two, like, you know, they're like in the or even where I'm from, Indiana, in that little city that I was from, everybody pretty much stuck to their own.
Yeah, but that's how it usually is, though. You know,
but there was a little mingled. You know what I mean? Like me, like I was mostly around black people. I didn't grow up around Mexicans until I moved here. Okay. And I was already like, we first moved here when I was 15 or 16.
You speak Spanish?
Nah.
You cheating yourself. Well, I guess I'm cheating myself too.
Well, my whole family, like my kids and everything, they're all bilingual. My wife is Colombian.
Oh, so you got Spanish? You got a Latino wife, though?
Yeah, she looks white. I mean, she looks white. Like if you saw a lot of people when they see her, they think she's American. Like, and then she opens her mouth and they're like, oh, she got an accent.
Oh, that's good. You should learn Spanish then. You should teach your children. I mean, Spanish.
I learned a little bit. I kind of know what they're saying sometimes.
You're cheating yourself out of your culture. Yeah. Like I wish I knew my culture. You know, we came over here as slaves. They took our identity. They took our culture. I wish I knew my culture, because if whatever tribe or whatever I came from in Africa, I'll be speaking that. My children will speak that. That's your heritage. That's who you are. You know, We was given a language. We was stripped of everything. And that's what a lot of people, we're the only race that didn't decide to come over here. Think about it. Think about it. We was given a religion. You know, if you look at, I don't know, y'all go check out my last videos about racism in the church. But I talked about how they use Christianity to enslave us, to brainwash us. And they told us that God, this is God's will for us, that we were supposed to be slaves. Think about that. This country, this great country, America. You know what I mean? They took people's identity, didn't tell them where they was from. They're still trying to oppress these people. And even in the church, you know, the church, go check out my website, jeonline.store, jeonline.store. Make sure you go check that website out. You know, I mentioned the website and everything. But yeah, the churches, we're terrible. Like, we're terrible. We don't even know each other. We're supposed to be one body. And think about it, we're gonna all spend eternity in heaven. And we can't even love each other now. The Bible says, how can you say you love God who you have not seen, and you can't love your brother who you see every day? That's Bible.
There's a guy that he might be somewhat close to you. He has like 17 congregations in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And he said his claim is that if you don't have a mixed congregation, then you're not doing the will of God.
You're not doing the will of God. No,
he said, because he had 50% congregation. He's white, but 50% of his congregation is probably black, but he has black pastors over them too.
Mm-hmm.
Has I seen an Asian guy, one of his right-hand men is Asian.
Yeah, and what about Arabs? Arabs are race too.
They have those too.
Like, yeah,
they have those too. You know, to some extent, it does depend your location at some point. You know what I mean? Because you could be in a location where there's not a different race for 100 miles, you know.
Yeah, but that's not good. You can go, we all have cars and buses. You can go travel to other places. I've gone to white churches when my church wasn't having church. I used to go visit a church every Thursday, a white church every Thursday, just to get a different mixture.
But every service though, you're gonna travel, you know, 50 miles over there.
Why you gotta go 50? I'm sure there's a church down the street. It's black churches around you.
Here, but I'm saying, like, if you out, say like you out in the country,
mm-hmm.
you know, and it's mostly white people, you know, are they going to travel? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay. Let's take the travel out. Let's take the travel out. What about social media? You can interact on social media. That takes the travel out.
There's different ways. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's more, you know, a little more convenient. But you could also, you know, try to make an attempt to visit a different church with different races too. Do
you think it's important? Do you think it's important to like have experiences with different ethnicities and stuff like that?
I don't think that is. It depends what you're talking about. I mean, as far as just life, I think you need to. But I think it's beneficial if you can, you know, because me personally, like, I don't have a problem with it because I'm a mixed breed anyway, and I grew up in mostly around black people in my early years, so I'm comfortable in any of those situations. But someone that never grew up around a different ethnicity. Including blacks. I mean, because I have this family that I grew up with when we first moved to the projects. She watched us from my mom, so she'd go to work, and so I met her kids. So the lady next door, she was white, our babysitter, but her kids' dads were black, and I grew up with them, and they were like we call ourselves brothers and sisters all the time. Even to this day, I just got done talking to them a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
We see each other as brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But even when I moved down here and one of them came to visit, she felt uncomfortable around a bunch of white people.
Exactly.
So she's like, man, it's just it's like, man, I need to go find where some black people are. So we went to the club on Dixon and went to the club where most of the black people went.
Yeah.
But
why is that? But why is that the case? Let's say in church, like I go to a white church. Why am I feeling uncomfortable in a white church?
I think it's just culture. I think it has less to do with your skin color and more to do with culture.